Hi, I'm Rogero from One Foot in the Door, and today I've got another amazing piece of acting for you by Ryan Gosling in Drive. Now, as you know, I like Ryan Gosling, and I made a video a little while ago about his acting in The Nice Guys, which is an action comedy, and it's a very, very different style of acting from what he usually does. Now, what he usually does is what he does in Drive, which is very powerful, understated performances. And we're gonna look exactly why his performances are so powerful, okay? So, let's start watching, and as usual, I need to stop and start the video a little bit for copyright reasons, so sorry about that. So we'll start watching and then I'll give you some context as we go. Let's go.
I just thought you could get out of here if you wanted. I could come with you. I could look out for you.
Sorry, yeah. Wrong floor.
Okay, so tiny bit of context if you haven't seen the movie, so spoiler alert, and go watch the movie if you haven't seen it. So Ryan Gosling is a getaway driver, so he helps criminals get away after robberies. That's obviously his secret job. Officially, he's a stunt driver for movies, and he's really, really good at driving. He's also a loner, doesn't really have any friends and stuff, but he developed a strong friendship, and in fact, it's a bit of a romance, although nothing happened at this point, with Carey Mulligan. She doesn't know who he is and what he does, but her partner, so the father to her son, is in prison and is just come out of prison, and he owes a lot of money to some gangsters. So in order to get the money he needs, he wants to rob a store. Okay, so Ryan Gosling offers to help him, as he always does, for free this time. And unfortunately, the robbery goes bad and the guy gets killed. So in this scene, they have just come back. Now, of course, because there's all this money involved and everything, the gangsters involved are not happy about what is going on, and we'll see what happens next, okay? Okay, so right away, notice that slight hesitation that he had there. We have seen this guy who seems innocuous, we don't know, he's just someone there. But we notice a slight hesitation on Ryan Gosling's face. He takes his time, he looks up and down, he doesn't do anything else, he just takes a moment. That's exactly the power of a subtle performance. He allows us the time to project what we think he might be thinking. Let's keep watching. Sorry, quick note about the editing. I love how the editing lingers on that closed door. It's quite unusual, like usually you would jump straight in to the elevator, but no, we stay on that closed door for just a second longer than usual, and that already sets us up. It tells us that something's going on. It's not a normal scene that's going to happen next. So let's keep watching. That. What did he do? He literally just slightly turned and clenched his jaw. That's it. He didn't do anything else. But that's enough for us to completely understand what's going on and how tense he feels. Of course, you know, if you haven't seen the whole movie, you might be missing some of this. But because of how the character has been established, that teeny tiny clenching of the jaw and that tension we see is enough to tell us everything we need to know, and it's so powerful. In that tiny reaction, there's the whole need to keep this quiet, to keep emotions under control, basically. And that's amazing. We can't even see his face, really. We literally just see his jaw clenching. Let's keep watching. I love this almost surrealistic moment when the lights clearly change and we enter in their own private world in a way. And this sequence is beautiful because it really shows all the feelings that they were having, that they were hiding from each other. Love that tiny shoulder movement that he covers her face so we don't see them clearly. It's such a private moment there. And at the same time, there's this sense of huge dread, huge danger. He knows the guy is a killer sent to kill him. So this could be goodbye. That's the reason why he kisses her. This could be goodbye. And again, right after that, we see just that tiny moment when he breaks eye contact with her, but he's still there. So he just goes from looking at her in the eyes to down. And he lingers on that. Of course, the time is expanded because it's a bit in slow motion, but we see that moment he takes for himself. He's gathering himself. He basically said goodbye to her. Potentially, he might die in the next few seconds. So he says goodbye to her, and now he gets ready to do what needs to be done. Brutal, absolutely brutal sequence here. And look at his face. Remember what I said in the other video, that he knows when to be understated and when not to. He's not understated here. He's not at all. Okay, he's not screaming, but you can see all that rage in his face, in his breathing, his physicality. He's really going for this. He's not keeping anything from us. Now he's giving us all the emotions we need to see in his face, because that's what she sees. Now she sees the monster. Now she sees the side of his personality that is scary and is dangerous. And now this. There's nothing that, I mean, there is. It's an intense look that comes from the huge surge of emotions that he just had, but he's now not doing anything more than that. He's just holding that feeling and just staring at her. And that's it. That's brilliant. A lesser actor would have done something, would have maybe tried to say something, would have broken eye contact, would have done something else that would have been too much. What Ryan Gosling does, and he's a master at this, is to allow us to project onto his face what we think his character is feeling. Now, let's be clear about this. I don't know what method Ryan Gosling uses. I don't know if he's a method actor, if he goes completely into character and he's really feeling everything, or if he's a more technical actor, he knows he's pre-planning what he does. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. It doesn't matter. The point is, his performance works so well because he gives us enough to then do part of the work. And that is a masterful thing to be able to do, to understand how much does the audience need us as actors to do. A lot of actors tend to do too much. They tend to try and give the audience everything all the time. He knows exactly when to give everything, like in that moment of rage, and when to pull almost everything back and to just give us this intense stare and let us do the rest of the job. That creates a performance that involves us as audience a lot more. We become more participant of his performance because in a way the magic is created by him and us, and of course the director, the music and all the rest together. We do part of the job, and that's why this is so compelling. Of course, it's not for everybody. Some people don't like having to do so much work when they watch movies. They prefer something which is easier and is a bit more in your face, a bit clearer, so they don't have to be so involved. But I think if you allow yourself to really fall into this type of movies, which are a bit tougher, they require more work, it's so much more rewarding, I think, in the end. Of course, this is not just Ryan Gosling. You need a director who wants and knows how to use that type of performance. Not everyone does. This is Nicholas Winding Refn, and he's really good at this stuff. Personally, I think Drive is probably his best movie. The following one he did was Only God Forgives, and I do think he went a bit overboard with this stuff. It's not quite as effective. There's too many characters who are just completely blank all the time, and it's just too much. In Drive, he reaches that perfect balance, I think. So it's so moving, so touching, so scary as well. And it's just a fantastic performance from the whole cast. Ryan Gosling in particular, he really carries this movie so well. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And if you have any requests for other movies, other great pieces of acting in movies or TV series, you know, doesn't matter. So anything else you'd like me to review and talk about, please do let me know. Thank you very much, Elijah, for requesting this. And I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.